Hello students, today's topic is specific conductance. Now in the previous lecture I have told you that in the next lecture of this chapter I will concentrate on that part which will deal with the measurement procedure of conductance. Now I will obviously show you how to measure conductance of an electrolytic solution, and with reference to that measurement I will also discuss in detail regarding specific conductance. So this lecture will consist of two topics. One is the measurement procedure of conductance and hence the measurement procedure of specific conductance, and also I will deal with the specific conductance in detail. So you can see that there is a table here and there is a complicated diagram here. So I will come to these tables and figures one by one. Don't be afraid, nothing complicated. So what we left in our previous lecture, we saw that R equals to rho L by A. This is the resistance and this is the specific resistance. This is the length of the conductor and this is the cross sectional area of the conductor. Then we have the reciprocal of resistance, which was the conductance. So that gave us 1 by rho A by L. So we have this relation. This we have obtained in our previous lecture, which was titled as conductance. So we have this conductance equal to specific conductance into cross sectional area by distance, and we have defined specific conductance as when A equals to 1 and L equals to 1, we have L equals to kappa. So specific conductance is defined as the conductance when the cross sectional area is 1 and the length of the conductor is 1. Now also you can remember that I have told you in the previous lecture that from now on we will concentrate upon the electrolytic solution and not on the metallic conductors. Now if we wish to measure the conductance or specific conductance of a electrolytic solution, then the picture will be different. Then L will not mean that it is the length of the conductor, since it is a solution. Solution of what? Say aqueous solution of KCl. So in aqueous solution of KCl you have K plus ions, Cl minus ions, which are moving freely within the electrolytic solution. Now you are putting two electrodes here. Now this cross sectional area A will mean in this case it is the surface area of the electrode. And what this L will mean? This L will mean the distance between the electrodes placed parallelly. So, in case of an electrolytic solution, the picture is not equivalent to that of a metallic conductor. In case of an electrolytic solution, for example, aqueous solution of KCl or aqueous solution of NaCl, we have to dip two electrodes. Now, the distance between those two electrodes is referred as the L. So, this L is the distance between the two electrodes that are placed parallelly within the solution, and this A will correspond to the surface area of each electrodes. So, basically what we are doing is that we are considering a volume of solution. See, this is one electrode, this is one electrode, and this is another electrode. And if we consider the distance between them and the area of the electrodes, then what we are dealing with? We are actually dealing with the space between them. So, the volume of the solution within the two electrodes is our consideration. So, the ions present within the volume between the two electrodes will be responsible for conductance or other parameters. Now, how specific conductance can be defined then in case of an electrolytic conductor? So, when the surface area of each electrodes is 1 square centimeter and the distance between the two electrodes placed parallelly is 1 centimeter, so that we have a unit cc volume of solution between the two electrodes, then the conductance of that solution will be referred as the specific conductance of that solution. So, you may take any value for L, you may take any value for A, so that will give you different types of conductances. But when you take the value of L to be 1 centimeter, so that the electrodes are 1 centimeter apart from each other and they each are having a cross sectional area of 1 square centimeter, then the conductance of the solution that is within the two electrodes will be the specific conductance of that particular electrolyte. This is the definition that we have covered in the previous lecture. In this lecture, we have the topic of the measurement procedure of conductance and specific conductance. So, how will we measure the conductance of any electrolytic solution? So, I am giving you an aqueous solution of an electrolyte, say KCl. You have to find the conductance and the specific conductance for this supplied electrolytic solution. Now, what is the procedure? First of all, you need a conductivity cell. This is the conductivity cell. So, this machine, it is the conductivity cell. So, conductivity cell is defined as an apparatus, as an instrument, as a cell that measures the conductance of any electrolytic solution. So, what it will give you? It will give you the resistance. Conductivity cell is going to give you the resistance of any electrolytic solution. Now, how to find that resistance? For that you need a Wheatstone bridge. So, based on the Wheatstone bridge principle, conductivity cell will measure the resistance of any electrolytic solution. So, how this principle works, let us see. This is a uniform wire having uniform resistance, and you can see there is a pointer C which can slide over this wire. Now, we have a alternating current source, and that is entering into this circuit through this point A. Now, after entering through this circuit, it is being divided into two branches, one along ACB and another along ADB. And between C and D, an earphone is connected. We have an earphone, and it is being connected to the point D in one end and point C in the other end. Now, there is a scale which is placed adjacent to this sliding wire, so that you can directly measure the length of the wire from the location of the starting point here and the position of the jockey, that is point C. What we have to do? Someone has given you an electrolytic solution. He or she has mentioned the concentration of it. Say he or she has given you 0.1 normal KCl solution and has asked you to determine its conductance. So, what is the problem? The problem is someone has given you a known concentration, an aqueous solution of an electrolyte having known concentration, and he or she is eager to know the conductance and specific conductance of that solution. You need a conductivity cell to answer him or her. You put this conductivity cell to this electrolytic solution and connect the two ends to D and A in this circuit. So, at the one arm AD of this Wheatstone bridge, you have the electrolytic solution. So, this electrolytic solution will act as the resistance. In another arm DB, a known definite resistance is applied, it is S. And here what will happen? It is a wire having uniform resistance throughout. So, the point has to be identified where the earphone produces minimum sound. Actually, the sound must be 0, but due to capacitance of this solution, there will be a minimum amount of sound, that is actually the noise of the circuit. So, you have to find by sliding this point C over this uniform wire where the earphone produces minimum sound. So, if this is the intensity of sound, then it will pass through a minima at a position. That position is C. You have to find it by sliding the jockey here. So, if this point produces the minimum amount of sound, then this arm, this BC and this AC will act as the other two arms of Wheatstone bridge. So, Wheatstone bridge will have 4 arms. One arm BD has a definite resistance that is known to you, that is of your choice, and another having unknown resistance that is of the solution that is supplied to you, whose conductance you want to know, whose specific conductance you want to know, and other two arms are obtained from the sliding of the jockey over the uniform wire. Now, the point where the intensity of sound is minimum, it is guaranteed that no current is passing through this DC arm. You can also check this with the help of a galvanometer. So, there will be no deflection in that case. So, when we have R by S equals to Q by P, we have 4 arms. So, 4 resistances, this one is R, this one is S, this one is Q, this one is P. So, when it will be R by S equals to Q by P, then the potential at the point D and at the point C will be exactly identical. So, there will be no potential difference in this arm CD. That will produce the minimum amount of sound, and if you use galvanometer instead of an earphone, that will show 0 deflection. So, when there is no current flow within this DC arm, it will guarantee you that the balanced condition has been achieved, and that balanced condition is R by S equals to Q by P. Now, see, since this wire has uniform resistance throughout, so we can write here constant into L1 by here constant into L2. What is the value of this constant? I have described in detail in second or third lecture of this chapter electrochemistry. Please go to the playlist and watch the videos from the start. In the topic potentiometer, I have described it in detail. So, what this constant will be? So, this resistance Q will be the gradient multiplied by the length. So, resistance per centimeter into how much length, and here also resistance per centimeter into how much length. So, that is a constant for the entire wire since it is uniform. So, those will cancel and will give you R by S equals to L1 by L2, or R equals to L1 by L2 into S. Now, you have a scale that is attached to this sliding wire. So, from the position of C, you can directly determine the values of L1 and L2. So, put here the values of L1 and L2. So, you have L1, you have L2, and S is a standard resistance that has been attached to this circuit of your choice. So, you know the value. So, from this you can have the value of the resistance of the electrolytic solution. So, using the conductivity cell, you can have the resistance of the electrolytic cell. Now, what is this drawing? This wire is connected to a platinum wire here, and it is entering into a mercury chamber. See, these two chambers are separated. Then again a platinum wire is being connected, and this is the actual electrode which is facing the electrolytic solution, and the distance between the two electrodes is measured, and the cross sectional area of the electrodes are measured and is printed on this conductivity cell. So, this task is not yours, it is the task of the company, the enterprise which is going to build this, and that company will sell you. It is the responsibility of that company to print this on this conductivity cell. So, I am coming to this. So, we have the resistance of the electrolytic solution, it is known using this technique. So, what we have till now? We got the value of R. Now, we know conductance is reciprocal of resistance. Since we got the value of this one using the principle of Wheatstone bridge, we can have the value of conductance. So, this is how conductance is measured, very simple. Now, what is the relation between this L and kappa? L equals to kappa into A by L, or kappa equals to L into L by A. Now, this L is the distance between the two electrodes that are placed parallelly, and A is the cross sectional area of each electrode, and this L by A is referred as the cell constant. Cell means what? Cell means the conductivity cell that I have mentioned just now. So, this is the cell constant of the conductivity cell. It is the ratio of the distance between the two electrodes to the cross sectional area of the electrodes. So, this is being measured by the company who is building this machine for you and is going to print it on the cell. So, you have this value directly by observing this cell. Now, this will have a definite value for a definite apparatus. So, if you can have a cell having value 0.1, you can have a conductivity cell having this cell constant value 0.5, having value 1.0, and so on. So, you have to see the level. So, this is known, L is known. So, this cell constant is known and this L is known. So, this will give you the value of specific conductance. So, we have covered our topic, that is how to measure conductance and specific conductance. Conductance is the reciprocal of resistance, and resistance is given by the conductivity cell based on which is functioning based on the Wheatstone bridge principle. So, that is giving you R. Taking a reciprocal, that will give you the conductance. Put this value here, see the level, you will get the cell constant, put here. So, that will give you specific conductance of any electrolytic solution. So, this is conductance, this is specific conductance, we have both the values. Now, what will be the unit of cell constant? This will be, obviously this is centimeter, this is centimeter square here. So, it will be centimeter by centimeter square. So, it will be centimeter inverse in CGS and meter inverse in SI. This is the value of the cell constant. So, this is how you can determine the specific conductance of any electrolytic solution. Kohlraasch and his co-workers did a monumental task. They accurately determined the specific conductances of KCl solutions for different concentration at different temperatures. For example, at 0 degree centigrade, the specific conductance kappa of a KCl solution having concentration 1.0 normal is 0.06543. So, for different temperatures, for KCl solutions having different concentrations, Kohlraasch and his co-workers have obtained the accurate values of specific conductances in this way. So, you have a chart where you can find the specific conductance of KCl solution. Now, while working in the laboratory, say your friend, your partner in the laboratory came to you with the conductivity cell that, and he or she is saying to you that, see what has happened, the label is not there. Then what you will do? You have to exchange it or throw it to the dustbin, that it is of no use again, and you go to the teacher and you ask for another conductivity cell. Will you do this? No. What you have to do is that very accurately you prepare a KCl solution using conductivity water. So, you take conductivity water, so that is prepared by multiple distillation of water in all quartz apparatus. So, that is conductivity water, and in that conductivity water, using that conductivity water, prepare any one of the KCl solutions that is obtained by Kohlraasch et al. So, let us take this value 0.1 normal KCl solution. So, you prepare 0.1 normal KCl solution using conductivity water very carefully. Now, since you are in India, here this temperature is more common than the other two. So, you try to maintain the temperature 25 degrees centigrade using a thermostat. So, you place the cell within a thermostat and try to maintain that temperature. So, for 0.1 normal KCl solution and at 25 degrees centigrade, what is the value of kappa? So, kappa of KCl 0.1 normal at 25 degrees centigrade is 0.01286. So, it is 0.0128886. This 0.1 normal 25 degrees centigrade. So, you will have the value of kappa. Now, you take this solution and put the conductivity cell within the solution and connect it to the Wheatstone bridge. You get the resistance. So, experimentally you obtain resistance. You take the reciprocal of it. So, it will give you the conductance. So, you get the conductance of this solution. Now, you know the relation kappa equals to L into L by A. So, what will be the value of L by A? Equals to kappa by L. Kappa you have from the chart, this value, put this value, and you have to perform experiment. From that you will get the resistance. You have to make reciprocal of it, that will give you conductance. So, put here. So, you have kappa, you have L. So, that will give you the cell constant. So, another label is ready. Do not throw it in the dustbin, that will destroy resource. So, these are simple ways to determine conductance, specific conductance and cell constant. Okay. Now, what is the unit of specific conductance? So L is 1 by R, so it is mho or ohm inverse, and it is L by A, so it is ohm inverse, centimeter inverse in CGS, and is Siemens per meter in SI. This is the unit in specific conductance. Now, if someone asks you that why you are using AC here, why you are using alternating current here, what would have happened if you use direct current? So, if you use direct current, what will happen? Electrolysis will start. So, direct current means you are connecting it with a battery, so that have a definite pole, so it will be plus or it will be minus or the reverse one, but it will remain constant. So, the negative ions will go to the positive electrode and the positive ions will go to the negative electrode and electrolysis will start. So, if the electrolysis starts, then what will happen? The concentration will change. So, that will give you erroneous result. Another thing, if some gaseous products are liberated at the electrodes, then they will have surface problems, they will disconnect the solution from the electrodes at certain points. So, that is polarization. So, owing to that polarization also there will be erroneous. So, what we will have to do? You have to use alternating current, so that it will fluctuate, the ions, cations and anions will fluctuate between the electrodes. There will be no electrolysis, so there will be no error. Okay, so you need AC. Now, what are the factors which controls specific conductance? Number one is obviously the nature of the electrolyte. If your electrolyte contains such cations and anions that they have high ionic mobility, so they will move faster, so conductance will be greater. More the conductance, more will be the specific conductance. So, nature of electrolyte is important. Here the charge of the ion, the size of the ions and the ionic mobility all are getting included within this point. It will depend on the nature of solvent. So, nature of solvent will include the extent of solvation, the viscosity of the solution. So, that is included within this point, nature of solvent, in which the ions are moving. Third point is the temperature. More the temperature, more will be the kinetic energy. So, more faster the ions will move, so conductance will increase, so specific conductance will increase. Now, the fourth point, it depends on the concentration of the solution. This is highly embarrassing. The specific conductance depends on the concentration of the solution. Now, this problem was not there in case of a metallic conductor. In case of a metallic conductor, if it is copper, then the packing was the characteristic of copper. You cannot control the packing of copper. So, there was no point like specific conductance of copper depends upon the concentration. No. But here in this electrolytic solution, how much amount of KCl you want to place between these two electrodes, it is your choice. If you take small amount, there will be small number of ions. If you take large amount, there will be large number of ions. So, depending upon the amount per cc, that is concentration, the number of ions may vary. So, the specific conductance depends upon the concentration of the solution. So, how will you compare between NaCl and KCl? How will you compare? So, when you compare, you have to mention the concentration. Do not compare 0.1 normal NaCl with 0.5 normal KCl. Do not compare 0.1 normal NaCl with 0.01 normal KCl. When you compare, you must keep the concentration same. So, a restriction is coming. So, what to do to avoid this problem, that is, you have to mention the concentration while expressing the specific conductances. That is the topic of our next lecture, which is very important. It is the equivalent conductance and molar conductance. So, stay with me, practice these problems in copies, watch it carefully several times, and if you feel any problem, don't hesitate to comment in the comment section. I will be there for you. Okay. So, thank you. Stay with me and watch the next lecture.